Welcome to the Global Updates, bringing you the latest news from around the world. Good evening, and welcome to Anderson Cooper 360. Tonight we turn our attention to a story that is unfolding far from the usual centers of global power, but one that could have consequences reaching every corner of the world. Tonight we bring you a developing story with global implications. It's a story that has the potential to alter the very fabric of international commerce, politics, and the environment. This is a story of ambition, controversy, and the potential to reshape the world as we know it. At its heart lies a vision so grand, so audacious, that it has captured the imagination of dreamers and the skepticism of critics alike. Nicaragua, a nation more accustomed to headlines about poverty and political turmoil, is making a bold move. For decades, this Central American country has struggled with economic hardship, natural disasters, and political unrest. Yet, beneath the surface, there has always been a yearning for transformation, a hope that one day, Nicaragua could rise above its challenges and claim a place on the world stage. Now that hope is taking shape in the form of a project of unprecedented scale and audacity. The government, backed by international investors, has set its sights on a feat of engineering that could rival the greatest infrastructure projects in history. It's a project that could redefine global trade and propel this small Central American nation onto the world stage. Imagine a new artery for the world's commerce, a shortcut that could save ships thousands of miles and millions of dollars in fuel and time. Nicaragua is building a canal, but this is not just any canal. This is a vision to carve a massive waterway through the heart of the country, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans and offering an alternative to the century-old Panama Canal. Not just any canal, but a massive waterway, dwarfing even the Panama Canal, that promises to revolutionize shipping and reshape global trade routes. The proposed Nicaragua Canal would stretch over 170 miles, making it more than twice as long as its Panamanian counterpart, and wide enough to accommodate the world's largest ships, vessels that are currently too big for the Panama Canal. The proposed Nicaragua Canal, a project shrouded in both excitement and skepticism, aims to connect the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans through the heart of this small nation. If completed, it would not only transform Nicaragua's economy, but also shift the balance of maritime trade, potentially impacting shipping costs, global supply chains, and the economies of dozens of countries. It's a gamble of epic proportions, one that could bring untold riches or plunge Nicaragua further into economic uncertainty. The stakes are enormous for the government, for the people, and for the investors who have poured billions into this dream. Success could mean jobs, infrastructure, and a new era of prosperity. Failure could leave behind a scarred landscape and a mountain of debt. This is a story with many layers. It's not just about digging a canal. It's about the hopes and fears of a nation, the dreams of its people, and the challenges that come with such an ambitious undertaking. There are those who see the canal as a ticket to a brighter future, and others who worry about the risks, the costs, and the consequences for generations to come. It's about the ambition of a nation striving for prosperity. For many Nicaraguans, the canal represents a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to break free from the cycle of poverty and underdevelopment. It's a chance to build schools, hospitals, and roads, to create jobs, and to give their children a better life. It's about the delicate balance between economic development and environmental protection. The canal's route cuts through some of the most biodiverse regions in Central America, threatening rainforests, wetlands, and the livelihoods of indigenous communities. Environmentalists warn that the project could have devastating consequences for wildlife, water quality, and the fragile ecosystems that sustain the region. And it's about the growing influence of China on the world stage, as the Asian giant steps in to finance and build this modern marvel. The involvement of Chinese companies has raised questions about geopolitics, sovereignty, and the shifting alliances in a rapidly changing world. For China, the canal is more than just an investment. It's a strategic foothold in the Americas, and a symbol of its rising power. Tonight, we'll delve into the details of this ambitious project, exploring its potential benefits and risks. We'll hear from the people whose lives are being transformed, from the engineers and workers on the ground, and from the critics who warn of hidden dangers and unintended consequences. We'll examine the environmental concerns, the economic implications, and the geopolitical maneuvering that makes this much more than just an engineering feat. The Nicaragua Canal is a story of dreams and dilemmas, of hope and controversy, and of a small nation daring to change its destiny. Stay with us as we uncover the full story behind Nicaragua's Canal of Dreams. The dream of connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans is not new. In fact, it is a vision that has echoed through the centuries, captivating the minds of explorers, rulers, and merchants alike. Long before the age of modern technology, people gazed at the vast expanse of the Americas and imagined a passage that could unite two of the world's greatest oceans. For centuries, explorers and merchants have sought a shorter, faster route between these vast bodies of water. The promise of a shortcut was more than just a matter of convenience. It was a quest for prosperity, power, and progress. Ships laden with precious cargoes braved the unpredictable seas, their captains always searching for a way to shave weeks, even months, off their journeys. The treacherous journey around the tip of South America, a voyage fraught with peril and delays, fueled this desire for a shortcut. Cape Horn, with its violent storms, icy winds, and towering waves, became infamous as one of the most dangerous passages in the world. Many ships were lost, and countless lives were claimed by the unforgiving elements. The risks were enormous, but so too were the rewards for those who survived. The economic and strategic implications of such a passage were undeniable. A direct route between the Atlantic and Pacific would not only transform global trade, but also shift the balance of power among nations. Control over such a waterway meant influence over the flow of goods, wealth, and even military might. It would slash shipping times, reduce costs, and facilitate the flow of goods and people between the East and West. Merchants dreamed of faster deliveries, governments envisioned new opportunities for growth, and ordinary people imagined a world more closely connected than ever before. The quest for a canal through the Americas became a testament to human ingenuity and ambition. Engineers and visionaries from around the world proposed bold plans, each more daring than the last. The idea of carving a path through mountains, jungles, and swamps seemed impossible, yet the allure of the canal was too powerful to ignore. Early attempts to find a natural waterway proved futile. Explorers hacked their way through dense forests, followed winding rivers, and mapped every possible route, but nature refused to yield an easy solution. Many expeditions ended in disappointment, and some in tragedy, as the dream of a shortcut remained just out of reach. The dense jungles and rugged terrain of Central America presented formidable obstacles. Sweltering heat, torrential rains, and disease made progress slow and dangerous. The land itself seemed to resist every effort to tame it, challenging even the most determined adventurers. But the dream persisted, and with the advent of modern engineering, the impossible began to seem within reach. Advances in technology, new construction methods, and a growing understanding of the land's geography inspired a new generation to take up the challenge. The world watched as surveyors and engineers mapped out potential routes, each step bringing the vision closer to reality. The idea of a canal through Nicaragua, with its vast Lake Nicaragua and relatively narrow strip of land separating the two oceans, emerged as a viable option. The lake offered a natural waterway for much of the journey, and the isthmus was seen as a gateway between continents. For a time, Nicaragua seemed destined to become the crossroads of the world. It was a dream shared by many, from Spanish conquistadors to American entrepreneurs, all captivated by the potential riches and strategic advantages such a waterway promised. Their ambitions, struggles, and innovations laid the groundwork for one of the greatest engineering feats in history, a testament to humanity's enduring desire to bridge worlds and shape the course of civilization. For centuries, the idea of connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans was a dream that seemed almost impossible. Explorers, engineers, and visionaries imagined a passage that would forever change the way the world traded and traveled. That dream finally became a reality in 1914 when the monumental Panama Canal was completed after years of grueling labor, innovation, and international collaboration. This engineering marvel, carved through the dense and unforgiving jungles of Panama, stands as one of the greatest achievements in human history. The canal's construction required overcoming immense challenges: tropical diseases, treacherous terrain, and the sheer scale of moving millions of tons of earth. Yet against all odds, the canal was finished, and its impact was immediate and profound. By providing a shortcut between the Atlantic and Pacific, the Panama Canal dramatically shortened travel distances for ships, eliminating the need for the perilous journey around the southern tip of South America. This not only reduced shipping times and costs, but also made it possible for goods and resources to reach new markets faster than ever before. Suddenly, products from Asia, Europe, and the Americas could be exchanged with unprecedented speed and efficiency. The canal's system of locks, a marvel of early 20th century engineering, allowed ships of all sizes to be lifted and lowered across the isthmus. It was a testament to human ingenuity, a bold demonstration of how technology could conquer even the most daunting natural obstacles. The world watched in awe as the first ships made their way through the canal, signaling a new era in global commerce. The transformation of Panama was equally remarkable. Once a quiet region, Panama quickly became a bustling hub of international shipping and trade. The canal brought prosperity, jobs, and global attention, turning the country into a vital link in the world's economic chain. International trade flourished, and the ripple effects were felt in economies across the globe. The opening of the Panama Canal was celebrated worldwide. Newsreels captured the excitement of the crowds, and newspapers hailed it as a triumph of modern engineering. The economic benefits were undeniable. Shipping companies saved millions, and new industries emerged to take advantage of the canal's strategic position. However, even the greatest achievements have their limitations. As decades passed, the Panama Canal began to face new challenges. The original locks, while revolutionary at the time, were designed for ships much smaller than today's massive cargo vessels. As global trade expanded and ships grew larger, the canal's capacity was increasingly put to the test. Bottlenecks became more common, with ships sometimes waiting days to pass through the canal. The locks, though still impressive, could only accommodate a limited number of vessels each day, and the largest modern ships, so-called post-Panamax vessels, were simply too big to fit. This created congestion and delays, threatening the canal's role as the world's premier shipping shortcut. In response, efforts were made to expand the canal, adding new locks and deepening channels. Yet even these improvements have their limits. As the global economy continues to grow, and the demand for faster, more efficient shipping routes increases, the world is once again looking for new solutions. This brings us to the present day, where the stage is set for a new chapter in maritime history. The emergence of a new contender, a proposed canal through Nicaragua, promises to address the limitations of its predecessor. With the potential to accommodate even the largest ships and handle greater volumes of traffic, this new canal could usher in a bold new era of global shipping, forever changing the way goods move around our planet. The proposed Nicaragua Canal, a project of breathtaking scale and ambition, aims to do what the Panama Canal cannot accommodate: the next generation of supersized cargo ships. With a length of over 170 miles, a width of up to 1,700 feet, and a depth of nearly 100 feet, it would dwarf the Panama Canal in size and capacity. The rationale behind this ambitious project is clear. Global trade is booming, and the demand for efficient shipping routes is greater than ever. The Nicaragua Canal, its proponents argue, would alleviate congestion in the Panama Canal, reduce shipping times, and lower costs for businesses and consumers worldwide. But the project is not without its skeptics. Critics question its economic viability, its environmental impact, and the motives of its main backer, China. They argue that the canal could come at a steep cost to Nicaragua's environment, and that the economic benefits may not outweigh the risks.